Hi everyone, I'm Bertola from the Karrikins Group. I am here today with Dean Sengstock from the RSM Alliance. Welcome, Dean.
Thank you, Carol.
It's great to see you here today.
Yeah, it's great to be out here in sunny Colorado. My pleasure.
We're here today to talk a little bit about the Alliance and the value that you create for your members. Why don't we start with, tell me a little bit about your role and the Alliance itself.
Sure, absolutely. So Carol, I'm the National Alliance Leader for RSM, and RSM orchestrates an Alliance program with currently today we have 91 independently owned professional service firms spread across the United States, Canada, Puerto Rico, and the Cayman Islands. We have firms that provide services in auditing, tax, and consulting services that make up our community. There's almost 12,000 people that make up that organization, and they do more than $2 billion of services for middle market, provide more than $2 billion in services to middle market companies around the United States and Canada.
And you're the national leader of the Alliance. Tell me a little bit about what you do in your role.
Yeah, so in my role, I have the great opportunity to help execute the strategy, orchestrate our Alliance program for the benefit of our Alliance members, helping them to create a more compelling and valuable value proposition for their clients and or their people, or help them as a professional service organization advance the capabilities of their organization. And we do that in a number of different ways, what we call the Alliance experience, which has three key pillars. Community, which enables us to build trusting relationships with those 12,000 people around the country, so that sharing best practices and perspectives and learning together. We do that through the capabilities work that we do, which is our goal and mission to bring world-class thought leadership and actual resources or advisory services to help member firms progress through as their organizations continue to scale and get bigger and deal with the complexity of either their organizations or the regulations or the environment that we operate in. And then lastly, the collaboration is designed to be when we need to create a more compelling value experience for our clients. The idea of collaboration is we now have trusting relationships that we can work together to bring leading solutions between two organizations, an Alliance member and RSM, or putting two Alliance members together, or maybe an Alliance member and one of our strategic partners.
Tell me a little bit about what you look for in a partner. Like, what are the key characteristics of a good partner?
Well, you mentioned it. We've had a 5+ year relationship with the Karrikins organization, and I've had the great pleasure to work directly with you over the last 3 years in terms of helping our member firms work on getting aligned. This concept of alignment, I know we'll talk a little bit more about that. So for us, we think of it in the context of an ecosystem, where not only is RSM and all of our 91 affiliate firms in ecosystem where we're working together to kind of service the needs of the clients that we serve or the people that are part of our organizations, but we also want to form relationships with other consultancy organizations and organizations that can bring subject matter expertise that aligns to kind of how we think about serving and creating value for our members. And I think when you ask the question, what do you look for in partners? I think what we look for in partners are partners that think and want to create value in somewhat the same way that we do. While you've had tremendous expertise and a lot of processes and things that you've educated us on, you've also been very open to listening to, hey, what is going on with your clients? And not only just through our lens, you're working directly with our members in many cases. And so I think that's a very powerful thing for us to continue to have partners that want to work and operate in that way. But I see the opportunity that when organizations spend the time doing the work to get aligned to whatever their vision is they want to accomplish, or the value proposition they want to create for their clients or their people.
Right.
And when I say align, I'm not necessarily talking about that everybody has to be in perfect agreement about how you accomplish that.
Right.
You see just fantastic results. You see firms achieving levels in their business, whether it be growth or profitability, or whether it's just, hey, the culture of our organization just lights up. And I think there's a real opportunity for us in our membership to advance that work. In PB Mares' case, it's hard to argue the type of success, and in PB Mares with Harvey Johnson, new CEO, 2 years in, taking over a $50 million organization. Pretty daunting task, considering the former leader was there for 40 plus years and led the organization, built it to what it was, which was a very successful organization in its own right. Yeah. But to now see the opportunity that they have, and a lot of it isn't about that they were just smarter about the type of work they did. They're being smarter and more intentional about the type of how they need to align their people to the types of behaviors that they wanted to demonstrate and exhibit. And so these firms that started that work, and firms like PB Mares that continue that work, they really develop a language. They develop a cultural language that is unique to their organizations, that you can see their people are proud of. And it's inspiring them to deal with the difficult issues. It doesn't mean they solve all the problems. Matter of fact, as their organization gets bigger and our profession is more complex and all the different things that we're facing, but it is equipping them as a leadership group and as an organization to be able to adapt faster and to be able to have the type of conversations that they have to have at a leadership level, making tough choices in some cases, which ultimately at the end of the day, I think all those things kind of add up to, for the firms that are doing it, is giving them that platform. And I see more inspired organizations. And I also see the potential that these organizations are creating a more magnetic culture, a culture where people want to be part of it. Like, what are they doing and how do I get to become part of it? And what do I need to do to make sure that I'm part of it? Yeah. When member firms embrace it, and you can see them embrace the work that needs to be done, and you can see the joy and it's not just talking to the leader about the results that they got, but how cool it is to be part of their organization. And that's my experience, like with PB Mares. I've been working with them for 10 plus years, and they're a great organization, always have been, but now they're becoming a magnetic organization that I believe will build on the foundation of what the past leaders have created, but are positioned to deal with all the different complexities and uncertainties and everything else that's facing us and the challenges of the profession. I think a perfect example is even traveling out here. We're with Harvey this week, right? With you all, spending some time reflecting and thinking about how can we continue to improve these programs. And he mentioned to me last night at dinner, he goes, some of these programs have been life-changing, not just changing in a business context, but have helped him become not only a better leader, but really a better person. And I think if you boil down the behaviors whatever behaviors an organization wants to declare is important. And again, I'll come back to the 5 C's for us. Yeah. Those aren't just relevant in a business setting. I mean, think about those 5 C's. They're relevant in life. And so agree. What I get really, the story that I would tell when I get excited is how our programs impacted the people. Sure, we do great things for the organization. Sure, we fill capability gaps. Sure, we provide training. But what is the impact that we're having on the people? And that's where I think the opportunity to take this organization is getting it centered at that level. And somebody recently shared with me, having the faith and the belief and the power in the good in people. And I think that's a really relevant quote, that at the end of the day, that's what we need to be doing as organizations. And that's my hope of we can curate that for our membership.
I love that idea of that it's not only relevant in business setting, but also in life. And it makes me think about, if we circle back to how you were thinking about how you evaluate partners, and how they are in sync and lined up with what's important to what you want to do for your members. How does Karrikins Group stack up to that? So how is Karrikins as a partner?
Well, one, I think you're purpose-led. So you all show up with a common purpose that's similar to that you see the potential of leadership in folks. So that's the root.
Yeah.
That gives me a tremendous amount of confidence. And then all the X's and O's that we do, you continue to reinforce that you're purpose-led about, and you're passionate about this alignment work. Because you've seen it change lives of people.
That's right.
And of course, once the lives of the people change, organizations change, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But it really comes down to that. And I think what I've come to appreciate about you, Carol, and the team that works with us from Karrikins is it's authentic when you're on a call, and it's about helping this individual take the next step in that leadership journey. We're delighted to have Karrikins as a strategic partner with us. So
I love hearing that. I mean, I so appreciate that, because it is important to us. You know, we want to be a good partner, and we want to make sure that we're delivering value to the members who are investing their money, their time, you know, and their energy in bettering themselves. So I'm happy to hear that. What if you were talking to another member-based organization like the Alliance? What would you tell them about what it's like working with Karrikins?
Well, I think it goes back a little bit to you're gonna be working with a purpose-led organization first that believes in the work that they're doing. I think second, you're gonna be working with an organization that, while they have a tremendous amount of expertise and have deployed many programs with great success for organizations, you're gonna work with an organization that's going to adapt and is going to, you know, work to meet the needs of whatever that membership base needs. Even in our case, I think when we first started talking, our impression was Karrikins works with Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 and large executive C-suite organizations, and that's not who. Yes, we have large professional service firms, but they're not structured that way, if you recall.
Right.
And it was, how do we build a program that can be scalable and digestible for these types of organizations? And that's probably, you know, that's what I admire and think is, you know, something to really hang on to.
What are some of the things that you appreciate about how we support you with marketing these types of programs?
Yeah, I mean, I think from top to bottom, your organization will bring the resources that's needed. And I think what's been really great for us is we've also married up those different resources. Yeah. So there's the strategy and kind of the vision where we want to go. We get aligned there first. We're doing our own level of alignment work, if you will. And then we're rolling up our sleeves to, how do we communicate this to the membership? How do we get this message out? I think that's part of the reason why we're here for this work, is to continue to not tell the story of what the Alliance does, but what is the impact that it's creating with our members. What is the greatest enjoyment that you've had of working within our membership, and why is the Alliance such an important organization to be a part of from Karrikins' point of view?
You know, you touched on it a little bit with that idea of the size of the organization. You know, I love working in these cohort programs, you know, to kind of give access to smaller firms that may not normally be in our client base, so to speak. And what is really unique about the cohort program is how these leaders can learn from each other. So it's not just about going through the process with Karrikins, but they're also connecting with each other. And I think that's something that you and the team have always really challenged us to think through. How can we best create those connections between those members within this program? And so it's not just about that content, it's making those connections. I love that about working with these member-based firms like the Alliance. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And, you know, I also feel like, you know, when you have started to pull some of these firms into these dialogues with us, it is exciting to see how a small move can have such a huge impact on the people, the business, and the leadership team. That's really exciting.
Profound, isn't it? Yeah.
Larger firms take a little bit longer to turn the ship. These firms, it's super exciting to see the changes and the momentum that they can create.
Well, that's awesome.
It is.
It's a very exciting, and you can see it.
Any final thoughts before we close out around alignments, what it's like having Karrikins as a partner, anything at all?
No, I've appreciated the opportunity to be out here and telling our story, right? Talking about what the importance and the purpose of this work is, and ultimately appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit of the vision of where we want to go with an alliance. And it's very comforting to know that we've got really capable strategic partners in you and in the Karrikins Group, and we have others too. And that's my why. My why is to curate this and to orchestrate this in a way that creates value for those three constituencies: RSM, our alliance members, and our strategic partners. And not in those specific orders, but in a way that those three add up to 10. And I think we see signs where that's possible. So thank you for the opportunity to tell the story.